Hey guys, Kev here, and I have a full review to do for you. So I've had this knife for a few days. This is the Vosteed Knives Nightshade LT, I believe. LT for light. It does come in this package right here. Check it. Nightshade Storm Gray G10. There's your Vosteed box, pretty sick. You get this box inside a box with a pouch inside the box inside the box. What? You get this pouch looking very Wii-like, to be honest, but could be, I don't know who makes it. Kaiser, I think. There you go. Nightshade 154 cm 3.25 inch blade kukri cutter. Nice. I never thought of it as a kukri. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. A flat grind Storm Gray G10. Here's a thick card. 120-day full money-back guarantee, return and replacement service. That's pretty sick right there. Support Vosteed. Got your little thingy-mabobber Jimmy that the knife comes in. And then, of course, your pouch fits in there. And that fits on there. Bada bing, bada boom. Pretty sick. I actually really like this packaging. Gotta give them credit. This knife is $70, guys. $69.99 on Amazon. I will put the link in the description. I'll try to pin it in the comments as well. If anybody is interested, I would appreciate it if you use my link to go get there and order it. It does help the channel. Now, this was provided to me by Vosteed. Shout out to them. They actually reached out to me initially about a kitchen knife because I had bought the Bellamy folder, which was pretty good, but it had the Kaiser rattle, and I don't know, like, it was a good deal and everything for what you got material-wise, but the build quality and everything just didn't, you know, wasn't my favorite, but I could definitely recommend the knife if you're looking to spend 130 bucks and get M390, you know? So anyway, they emailed me along with, I'm sure, a bunch of other customers, and they were just trying to test Amazon because they have kitchen knives, and I guess Amazon was mislabeling them or something. So they just wanted customers to see what shows up at the door. So they basically ordered a thing for free. It was a utility knife. And then what showed up was actually a kitchen knife. And then I just sent pictures of the box and the label and everything. My wife actually loves that kitchen knife. And it was like a $25 kitchen knife, 5-inch sort of Santoku looking thing in carbon steel. And it gave me the thought to hit them up. And I just said, hey, you know, I have a YouTube channel. If you guys want to send anything my way to check out, here's a link to the channel, whatever. And they got back to me and they were like, yeah, sure, we have this Nightshade coming out. Would you want to check that out? And I was like, yeah, sure. So they did send this in for review, so take that for what it's worth. Take what I say with a grain of salt. It doesn't mean I'm really going to say that the knife is great when it's not, or, you know, whatever. I do think it's a pretty good knife, honestly. But I wanted to just let you know that. So this is the Nightshade LT. LT, I think, stands for light. It is the budget version. Like I said, $69.99. You got gray G10. It comes in black as well. And then you have these different color pivot collars. And then you have 154 cm on the blade. You have a one-sided sort of deep carry budget option clip. And yeah, you got a crown spine. At least that's what it feels like. And you got a flipper with some jimping on it and some standoff steel liners, steel liner lock. So I think for 70 bucks, excuse me, not being made by them, it's a pretty good price. Yeah, so let's get into it. Aesthetics, I actually kind of dig it. Yeah, it has a boomerang banana feel, and now that I read kukri, that makes perfect sense to me. But I think it looks cool. I don't know. I like how it has this sort of bulbous blade shape and sort of spears out at the end. It kind of does look like a folding machete, which is kind of cool to think about, right? Which, you know, not like my style. Like, I wouldn't want some, like, super premium version of this as a, you know, something I would normally keep in my collection or anything. But I do think it looks cool. Size-wise, we can compare it to some stuff. I have this guy in my pocket. You can see it's got my sweat on it. Let me get that up of there before we have issues. It's gonna rust immediately with my sweat on it. Even though I did put knife shield on here. Hopefully I got to that in time. I'll put some more on after, but there is the TW Price Dawn. It's actually a good size comparison. You're looking at about 3 1/4 inches on both of those. So that's the Dawn. If you guys want to see some budget options, I have a couple. We can check out the Kubi Royal. Right there. They should be pretty similar as well. We have another similar size one, the Ferrum Forged Knives Stinger. And then another similar size one. If you guys don't know, this is my size range. I love this size range. The Kvist Bladeworks Variant PE. This one's a little bit smaller, I believe. There you go. So it's right in that range with all of these. 3 1/4 inches. All right. Yeah, I think it's cool. I like the way they finished the G10. Pretty standard, but I like it. I like the access to the lock bar. I like the logo. I don't like all of this going on over here. You didn't need Vosteed Nightshade 154. Like, just get rid of the Vosteed Nightshade, and I think it would have been fine, right? I like sterile blades, obviously. They did a good job. The rest of the blade, stonewash, looks good. The clip is a, throw it on there, deep carry clip. But I like how low profile it is. It's very snug, very tight, but it actually goes in the pocket really well. You do have some internal milling in there. You guys can see that. And then you have those standoffs, and you have a lanyard hole for those folks out there. And this knife, don't ask me why, but for some reason this knife makes sense to me to have a lanyard hole. I don't know. Stupid to say that, I guess, but it's how I feel. I do like that the clip is recessed into the scale and the screws are recessed as well. That's a very nice touch. All the screws are nicely seated into the scale. Looks good. The pivot sits just slightly proud, but it's got a cool design to it. I think they did a great job here with the aesthetics, honestly. The ergos. So you really just have this one grip. So I have a large glove size hand, and it just fits on here. So anything larger than large, I mean, XL I think would be stretching it already, because I'm already kind of cramming them on. If I really cram them on, I can get that much to hang out. But, I kind of want to spread out like this, and I'm taking up the whole handle. So anything larger than a large glove-sized knife, I think, is going to struggle with this guy. You can choke up, but you can't bear down. So, I mean, you could do this, or you could do this and then just not bear down because you're going to cut yourself. So you're on the edge there. So best to just stay back here. You have some jimping right here. My thumb kind of goes right past it, but I guess I could back up on it, and it's okay. It's very muted jimping, but it works. And again, you have this crown spine, or at least what looks like a crown spine. See if I can zoom in on that for you. See that rounding? I would say that's crowned. Yeah. Which I think was a great choice for this design, honestly. And it feels good in the hand. If you get into a pinch grip like this, you can utilize that blade for these types of things. It's a little harder with the utility cuts or the precision cutting because of the way this hooks. It hooks down, which is good. It's not in your palm. But I don't know. Something just doesn't feel... I just don't feel like I'm in great control of this blade. So I don't love it for my usual stuff like cutting shipping labels because it's almost too hooked. So like I'm too far back on the knife, I feel like, for where the tip is. I don't know how to explain that better, but it just doesn't feel right to me. So even though it has a sort of low tip with a low angle, it doesn't work as well for those things as you'd think. So that kind of takes us into cutting. Other than that, I mean, this thing is going to be great for the stuff it's good for, right? Which I'm not an expert on what a kukri would be good for. Chopping, I suppose, but it's small, so you're not going to be chopping trees, but, I don't know. What would you do with this? It obviously works pretty well on paper and things like that. I guess one thing it would be good at is you're not going to slip out of cuts, right? I feel like it's going to bring the yeah, like it's going to bring the material into the cut, which is kind of cool. So I wonder, would this be good for like zip ties and shit like that? Because you could wrap it around. Hold on. Like you could wrap it around something, right? And like get in there and pop the zip tie or whatever. And if you're cutting into stuff, I feel like it would bring the material. I don't know. So I think this would actually be a pretty good EDC knife. Not for me because it doesn't have the straighter edge with the low tip, but I think it definitely would be useful to some people. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. I don't know. This blade shape's a little odd to me. It's something I haven't really used or utilized, so I'm kind of lost here a little bit as for what it would be great for. So I would love to know down in the comments your guys' thoughts. So let me know, please. Carry is actually really good. The clip, very tight, but it goes in and out of pocket very well. I had no problem there. The screws are recessed. The clip is recessed, which is great. You have basically nothing sticking out of your pocket. Even though it's such a curvy knife, like it looks like a banana, when it's folded up, it really doesn't. It doesn't have a ton of curve to it in your pocket, and they angled the clip in a way that it kind of just sits straight in your pocket. Yes, it's a little taller than some knives, but like here's the Dawn. It's not like way taller than other knives. I think it's a good height. I think the thickness is good. It's probably right around 1/2 inch thick, maybe a little bit thicker with these scales. We could check. Ooh, 0.58. Is that right? Yeah. Oh, wait. Dumbass. I was like, wait, that can't be right. I was on the clip. 0.52. Yeah, that seems more accurate. So 0.52-ish on the thickness. I think that's great for a liner lock with G10 scales slapped on top with proud liners. I mean, that's pretty thin for that. And it feels good in hand. So the carry's good, guys. I mean, it's not too heavy or anything. It probably weighs, I'd give it 4 ounces. Maybe a little more than that, 4.5, something like that. It's not like a lightweight knife, but it's definitely not heavy. It's carryable for sure. Had no thoughts about it in my back pocket at all. I thought it carried great. Sounds. The sounds are good. You know, it's a liner lock. It's a budget knife, but it thwacks out. Yeah, I mean, I would give it a 6 out of 10, 5 or 6 out of 10. So definitely not negative. Not like the best sounding knife ever, but for a budget knife like this, I think it sounds good. Action / fidget factor. So this is where this knife, to me, loses some points because of an obvious missed opportunity, right? Like, there could have been a hole or a fuller here, and I could be, you know, banging this thing out all day with reverse flicks. Now, you can reverse flick it. If you get it in the right spot with the right finger and flick, yes, you can reverse flick it, but it's not automatic, right? Of course, now I'll get it every time. God. All right, well, I guess once you learn, there you go, I missed it. Like, it does work. A different finish would probably be better, like a satin or you know, something that would grip you a little better. A PVD would probably, you know, because you slip off that stonewash a little bit. But a hole or a fuller here would have been awesome. Now, maybe they didn't do it because the design doesn't call for it, or they didn't want it to get in the cutting path, or they just don't like holes. And who knows, right? But it would be sick to have a hole on here. And honestly, I think the first thing I'm going to do after this review is probably send this to Backpack B and have him do one of his hole mods on it. Because it'll probably be sick once he does that. But anyway, it has this flipper tab right here. It has jimping on it. Goes all the way back and around. And I really appreciate that. The detent is not the strongest, but it's also not weak. It's a good medium detent, and I can't fail it. So it's a good detent. Now you can light switch it, right? And get good power behind a light switch like that. The finger or the flipper tab curves to your finger really well, like that. So you can really grip and rip it. It feels really good, honestly. I enjoy the flick on this. And then you can also go up here because of that jimping and do a push button, which is also very satisfying to push down like that. So again, push button is down. I'm pushing down, right? Like that. Where a light switch, I'm dragging down like that. So you can light switch and you can push button, which I really enjoy. And then the closing action, guys, is phenomenal. I mean, look at this lockup. Really good. Jimping right here. Plenty of access. I mean, this thing disengages no problemo. And then it's a nice controlled drop shut. I mean, honestly, this is probably how you want every knife to be. You know, like if you could only have one type of action, this is what I would go for. Because it drops shut, but it doesn't chop your finger off, right? So it feels smooth instead of loose, if that makes sense. Sometimes a knife that just guillotines shut, sometimes that can feel loose, right? I have this as tight as it goes, too. Sometimes that can feel like you're actually getting a less expensive knife when it guillotine drops like that, right? And this is, I don't know. It's nice. I really enjoy the controlled drop shut. You watch it swing down, you know, and just let it close on its own momentum. You know, maybe you got to give it a little shake every once in a while, but just turning the handle does it, you know. So yeah, the action's fantastic. So I don't know, guys. This knife is really good for $70 with these materials, OEM'd and then sold by a brand. I think they're doing pretty well here with this. If this design is for you, I can highly recommend this knife for $70. Now, again, personally, this is not my type of design, right? It's not my type of blade shape. I prefer a knife with a choil, right? If this had a choil, maybe I would like it a little bit more just because I could grip it up there. But this is fine. You know, if this is your style of knife, I think, yeah, definitely go get one. They're cool. So that's the Vosteed Knives Nightshade LT. Big thank you to Vosteed for sending this out to me. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. If you guys have any questions down below, please let me know, of course. And like I said, I might be sending this over to Backpack B to do his mod on, but we'll see. And then it would probably become, you know, a giveaway knife or something for the channel. So that's always appreciated. So, yeah, I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. Again, the link for this guy is down in the description. And I will catch you later.